fans! Hello, welcome back! We are definitely not recording this video for the second time, I promise! We would never do such a thing because we are trying the standing up game and we messed up the settings a little bit the first time. It's all a little makeshift right now, testing things out, and by makeshift, I mean look at this solid mic position posture game we got going on. I mean, tell me that's not the greatest thing you've seen all day. We call that a bobblehead mic stand. And that's Ken Griffey Jr. who continues to fall off this wall for some reason. I don't understand why. We put like 6,000 pieces of this sticky thing on the back, stuck it there, and he's like, I ain't feeling it. Not today, but we're going to figure it out because it's Ken Griffey Jr. You got to figure it out. Nonetheless, you know, trying this out, different things. Always appreciate hearing you guys' feedback and suggestions. Reason we're going to the different style of video here, if you will, as well. We'll see how this goes. We are talking ratings predictions. If you made it this far, forgot what you came for, I apologize. We get a little distracted sometimes. We're going to get the little starts at in the comment section down below. All right, though. It's all right. Starts at like, we're going to guess like 57.3 seconds. But we're doing NHL 22 right wing ratings predictions. A very tough list to do today, especially that top 5. Especially those guys at the bottom just squeaking their way in. Like number 10, Brock Boeser. Brock Boeser. I can't not say Brock. We all know where that comes from, right? I think, maybe, some of us. Nonetheless, Brock Boeser. You gotta be a 30 goal scorer year in and year out if he could just stay healthy. And he can't. You know, he misses 10, 15 games a year. That's his problem. Still a solid player, very consistent over there in Vancouver. We're giving Brock Boeser the 86 overall. Coming in at number 9. We have the one they call Alex DeBrincat. And this is the other tough part of these ratings predictions list, especially when it comes to wingers, is I don't know where to put some of these guys. Because EA's got DeBrincat. I think they got him, what, right wing, left wing. NHL's got him at center, right wing, center, left wing, whatever. He plays all over the place. So what we're going to do is try to do the best here when you filter through the positions on NHL 21. DeBrincat's at right wing. I'd like to think that's where they filter him through again next year. Could be wrong. So DeBrincat, though, I think we got to put him on this list. 87 overall. That's the same, real quick, actually, bringing up about Aho as well. I think Aho's ranked as a right wing in this game, but he played center. I don't know where they put him. Aho should be on this list if he gets put as a right wing. We'll see what EA does. We don't have him on the list, though, because of that. Nonetheless, though, DeBrincat, 91 Genos in the last 3 seasons combined, ranks him 3rd among all right wings. And his 32 goals, 56 assists, and 52 points. Helped for a lot of that this season. DeBrincat, 87 overall. Coming in at number 8, we have a very controversial pick here in Vladimir Tarasenko. This is a guy who's been, as it is, a man's been a top 5, top 6 player on the wingers list for a while now, and he's been at 89, 90 plus. We are knocking him down because this is a guy that can't stay healthy. Come on, Tarasenko. We do not normally do this with players where we lower their overalls because of them having injury seasons, but this is his 2nd straight year being injured. And it's the 2nd time really where when he's played, he's not really been the same elite Tarasenko I don't feel like he has in years past. That might have to do with, you know, him getting hot in the middle of the season or, you know, getting into the groove, whatever. Nonetheless, 24 games played last season for Tarasenko. He put up 4 goals, 10 assists, 14 points. I don't even know math. 24 games. You got to do better than that, Tarasenko. I want to see this guy healthy all year, and I want to see him bring back that offensive prowess that he possesses and prove that he deserves to be high on this list. Until then, we're giving him the 87. Coming in at number 7, we have Blake Wheeler. Wheeler just does what Wheeler does year in and year out. He puts up a point per game. He continues to surprise us with being a power forward this late into his career and continuing to put up a point per game. That being said, you know, the bigger bodied guys, they get a little bit of an overall boost there, even if you're not this prolific goal scorer. In Wheeler's case, he's not. More of a playmaker. The defense is going to help him out here. We're giving Wheeler the 88 overall. Number 6, we have Mark Stone. Now, Mark Stone, we're going to get a little bit risky here this year. I'm feeling a little bit of a gamble. We're going to give Mark Stone an upgrade, which is a gamble because he's so much older now. And usually when guys get older, EA doesn't really upgrade their overalls. They kind of stay where they are. They are where they are. But this is Mark Stone. This is a guy that's been dang near a point per game or better for the last 5 seasons. This season, well over a point per game. And he is, more importantly, widely regarded as one of, if not the best defensive winger in the game. those defensive stats are going to make his overall go up a heck of a lot more. Not to mention, again, he's got the offensive abilities to give him a high overall alone. Guy even dropped 21 goals this season. The guy can put it in the back of the net. He can play defense. I don't know what else you want out of a guy. We're going to say Mark Stone. Sleeper here of the list, 90 overall. This top 5 is where things get very, very interesting. Because we don't usually see EA give 5 guys, not on the wingers list at least, a 91 overall plus. But I think that's what we're going to see this year. I really do. I don't know how you don't do it. You got these next four guys, the difference in the last 3 years, 1.15 points per game to 1.22 points per game. Separate the 4. That's the difference as far as points are concerned. Now, they obviously have their own unique characteristics and abilities that put them in other positions as well, or spots in this list, I should say, from other categories. But I think they have to be around the same area, all interchangeable. We'll see. Number 5, Mikko Rantanen. 30 Genos last season, led all right wingers. Not to mention, he is, unfortunately, the guy with the 1.15 points per game, or the lower end, but he's also a very big guy. He's a big guy. That size, that ability to score goals, 2 things that really bump up the overall in this game. Because again, we played a defensive stats game, where when you're bigger, you gain the strength, you got the body checking, stuff like that. That goes up because you're a bigger body player, and that could play into Mikko's benefit here. We're gonna say 91 overall. Number 4. Sorry, Boston. No, I'm not. Just kidding. David Pastrnak. I am, though, because I don't know where to put this guy. This is a stud and a half. Reigning Richard winner going into the season. 48 goals if we forgot 2 seasons ago now. But this is also a guy that was a smooth. 1.00 points per game this season. 20 goals, 28 assists. Not a bad season. But it was a season where everyone and their mothers was a plus or a 1 point per game player. So you wonder how much you put into consideration recency bias here for David Pastrnak, who is one heck of a player on one of the best lines in all hockey. Make no mistake about it. But we're going to say Pastrnak falls in here 94 overall, or not 94, number 4 overall, 91 overall. Number 3, we have Mitch Marner. Now, Mitch Marner, the reason he has been dogged on lists in previous years is because, he's always been a little bit of a smaller guy, more of a playmaker, not a goal scorer. When you're not a goal scorer in the eyes of EA, that's kind of a Gaudreau, what do you want to call that? The Gaudreau example, or perfect poster child of that, right? You're smaller. Was he a goal scorer? Not as much of a goal scorer, so it kind of hurt his overall there. I want to say I'm speaking right there. We're just kind of yanking it out of the back of our minds. You're hoping that's accurate. And a little bit since hockey's been on. Nonetheless, though, we're talking Mitch Marner. He's led all right wings in points this season with 67. And more important, now the reason we actually gave Marner a top 3 spot and justified the high overall is because 2 of the last 3 seasons now, Marner's found himself inside the top 15 in Selke voting. And what was he, like 23rd the other season? I don't really know how many players get voted on for that. I imagine that's like 2 or 3 votes. Doesn't matter. What matters is that means he's being looked at as a good defensive player in this league. And when you're looked at as a good defensive player in this league, that has to be reflected in your stats in a video game, which again, the defensive awareness weighs heavily on the overall. You bump that up a couple points. I think that bumps up Mitch Marner's overall a couple points. We'll see. Marner, 91 overall. Coming in at number 2, we have Patrick Kane. Where else? This guy's been nothing short of spectacular. He's 250 points in 207 games played these past 3 seasons. Leads all right wingers in the league. And it's Patrick Kane, man. Besides the fact that he did have a little bit of a regression on the goals this season, it's still Patrick Kane. It's a guy that's at 92 right now in NHL 21, which is a good time to remind people. Typically, we do see EA give guys higher overalls at the end of the year, and then they bounce them back down an overall point or 2 going into next year. Why? I don't know. I really don't understand the logic behind it, but that's just how it goes. It doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen to some players. I think Patrick Kane could be one of those players who goes back down to the 91, even though he's a stud of a player. He was a 91 going into the game. Nothing really changed. Going to be a 91 going into NHL 22. Coming in at number 1, though, a man, Nikita Kucherov. I don't know where else you put him. Yeah, he didn't play all season, sure. I mean, he didn't play in the postseason. He went out there, 23 games, played 32 points. Absolute stud out there, by the way. And I tell you what, really, that's probably going to be the biggest challenge for the Tampa Bay Lightning next season. from a three-peat perspective is, can they get somebody on that team who sit on a bench on the IR all season so they can manipulate the cap, open up, 8-9 million off the books so they can bring in some more depth, so when the postseason comes around, bada bing, bada bang, look at all this depth. And they might not have to do it this season, though. They lost a couple depth guys this offseason that were, $4 or $5 million on the books. But it never hurts, if they're gonna let, the NHL's gonna let you do it, by all means, they might as well do it, though. Nonetheless, Kucherov, absolute stud. Don't let it discredit him by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think there's a question about it. This is the guy that comes in at number 1. I think he's one of the best players in all of hockey, let alone at right wing. Nikita Kucherov, we're giving him the 92 overall. Love to hear his thoughts. Your personal top 10s, as always. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.